All right, welcome to our next project. This is exercise 1416, the idler arm, and it is a metric drawing. So I have created a new project folder and file, and I've opened up my metric millimeter part file template, and I am ready to go. So if we look at this one in the book, we see a lot of the dimensions are based on that keyway hole kind of in the middle of the object. So a lot of it is based from there, dimensioned up and down. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to start me a 2D sketch on my front plane. And let's go with a circle. And this particular one, I'm going with the outside measurement. So I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna draw it out, kind of big, and then I'm gonna put me a line, horizontal line down here, and then come up, and I want to go tangent. There's a tangent snap, and I'm going to do the same thing from this other side. There we go. Got me a tangent snap. And let's see, let's do a vertical point constraint on the midpoint of this line. And then I can trim out that part of my circle and apply my dimensions. And I know I've got a radius there. I know I've got a length of this and a distance down from the center. Okay, I'm going to pause and fix this, and then you put in the correct dimensions from the book. Okay, I'm looking at some stuffs here. Okay, my notes. All right. So I got my dimensions put in. I can finish that. And I want to extrude this symmetrically, backwards and forwards. And I'm looking at my book. It is 50. All right. Okay, so that's got that part. Now I want to put the, I'm going to do the rectangle going down. And so let's start another sketch. And I'm going to go ahead. Oh, wait, let me see. I want it to, yeah. We'll go with XZ plane, but I want to flip this over so I'm looking at the bottom. Come on, I want to rotate it so that my front view is right there in front of me. So it gives me a little bit better understanding of orthographics, okay? And let's change this over to a 2-point center rectangle. And I am going for the origin right there. And I'm going to pull it out. We can slice graphics so it makes it a little easier to see. And then we'll apply the dimensions for that rectangle. Okay, get your dimensions applied to that. And then we're going to extrude that down because we based it at the origin. And we'll just extrude it down to the center of that circle at the bottom, which the book says is 96. I'm going to change directions. All right. So I got that coming down. And now we'll do the same thing and we'll go, let's see. No, we can't want to go up. Let's do a work plane up at the top, and then do our cylinder and come down. So I know it tells me the height, overall height from this thing is, looking at the book again, 166. So I'm going to do a plane offset from a plane, and I'm going to choose that and drag it up, and my distance will be minus 166. Right? Yeah. And so now let's do we could do a sketch on it, or we could do a cylinder on it. No, we could let's try cylinder. And it's on that center point, and it gives me a diameter of 44. And then instead of a distance and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to go to next and choose that. There we go. Let's hide that work plane. Looking at my notes again. Okay, so we've got this little cylinder over here on the outside, and let's a couple of ways we could do the same cylinder kind of a thing and do it on the YZ plane and pick up our origin there. Looking at the book, and then that comes out a distance of 36 from the origin. All right, so it's got that one, and now we'll do the cylinder here at the bottom, kind of the same way, doing it symmetrical. I don't have to do that for you. You can do that. I'm going to go ahead and do this one here, and then I'll pause the video and catch up. Well, I just pause now and catch up. Okay. So I got the bottom cylinder in. I need to do this kind of oblong keyway, not keyway, but this shape up here. So I'm going to do a sketch on the front surface. And I'm going to put me a circle. And I'll do a vertical constraint from my origin. Vertical constraint from the origin to the center of that circle. So I get it lined up there. And do this, do some trim. 2 dimensions needed. I need a diameter and a height of it. So we'll place those. All right, got the dimensions in. So I'm going to rotate it just a little bit and extrude that. Change my direction and go to next. And you notice it didn't pick up that bottom part. That's okay because it's the top that I needed, but I needed a closed loop anyway. All right, and so that's got all my major features. Now I can start putting in some holes. And if you look, you've got a whole series of holes that intersect each other on the inside. So the order in which you put these in will make your life easier. And they all seem to intersect into the keyway hole. So that's the one we'll start with, and we can't just do a hole command on it. We'll have to do a sketch and an extrusion. So make it simple. I'll come here, and it's a concentric circle. And then it has a vertical line, a horizontal line, and another vertical line. And we'll need to apply we can do a vertical constraint for the midpoint of that line, and then apply all our dimensions, and then we can extrude it. Okay, the book gives us a diameter dimension on this, so when you go to click it and place your dimension, before placing it, if you'll right click and go down, change your dimension type to diameter, makes it easier. The keyway slot is 6 by 12, and if you remember, the vertical side of the keyway slot is the 6, the horizontal is the 12. So I'll do those and then extrude that as a cut through all. Okay, and then we've got a hole from the top that comes down to this feature, a hole here that goes in, a hole here that goes into this hole. So we have a sequencing, so we'll go with this one. The one on the top is just a drilled hole, and we're using the lower limits on all of our tolerances here. No counter bore, and this is 22.17. And it's concentric, so I'll choose that surface and then the concentric ring, and I'm going to go 2 and choose that. All right, and let's check it out, make sure it came through looking good. All right, now we'll come back to here, and this one is a drilled hole or a threaded hole, M12 by 7.5. So let's go ahead and make our changes here. Enzymetric, 12 by 175. Concentric, and it's going to go to that hole. All right, check the inside, looks good. You'll do the same thing here, okay, with a hole there, and then you've got a drilled hole down here. So if you'll put those two in, then I'll come back and we'll do the threaded hole on the side.